If you're looking for an option sweep scanner for alerts in 2020, I'm going to be covering Tastyworks and TradeUI. They both cater to unique aspects of the stock market, and they're very important to watch, especially if you're an options trader, especially if you are a beginner as well. And I'm going to cover just different aspects of the benefits of each one, but we're going to start with Tastyworks here, and I'm just going to keep it pretty straightforward here. You have the symbols, obviously. You have the last trading price. You got the net change percent, bid, ask, IV rank, implied volatility, and obviously you can see which kind of stocks you should be avoiding. Like with the check here at 215%, you're likely to get very, very crushed on options. In other words, you put monies in, and unless it goes very in your direction, you're going to lose a lot of those monies, and you can see the volume as well. You can sort these by different categories from their earnings dates to other things as well. You can also switch to different formats if you'd like, from tall, small to lists. I personally like the list format. You can also choose different categories here. You've got basically unique watch lists here from Tom. You got Tastyworks hourly top 10. You got 52-week near highs, which is very helpful. Obviously, you can see here that Amazon's been dominating the market lately, so of course it's going to be right there on the top. You have the 52-week lows. Same thing here. You can see which ones that you should probably avoid, which ones you might be interested in. Amazon's is actually relatively low implied volatility comparative to the moves that it's been having. EA has been an interesting watch, that's for sure. You got some other ones here popping up like JD and DG, Dollar General, and a whole bunch of other ones here. And it's just a quick list, quick reference. You can, if you're not quite sure what you want to hop in, you can do liquid ETFs too. So if you want to get in and out of a position, IDWM, the Russell has been a very interesting one to play. And there was some pretty clear moves on the option sweeps, which I'll show you guys here in just a little bit. But that was just some of the features I wanted to show of Tastyworks. I'll list that in the description below if you want to check it out for an option sweep scanner for alerts. You can set alerts on Tastyworks as well. I will get into that in another video. Now, this is a TradeUI. A TradeUI, it focuses on the sweeps that are coming in, so it's real-time sweeps alerts. Pretty straightforward here. These were some of IDWMs, the Russells that I was telling you guys about. Some are more obvious than others. Learning how to read these is very, very important, such as the one coming in here in May for literally over almost $3 million here. You got some others that came in, and a lot of different sweeps here, a lot of different categories to digest. Obviously, timestamp is the timestamp for when it comes in. These are currently GMT times. You got the rating scores for how viable the position might be. You got a strength index for how likely of a playable position that might be. You got obviously the ticker name. You have the move percentage, the likely expected move. You have basically a strength or strike, sorry, a strike position, so where they expected the premiums to necessarily go to. IWM touched around 115, and they had some sweeps way, way earlier. Let me jump down to here and show you guys that some of their strikes came in very early in the morning, and you had the 115 strike, so they kind of already knew early in the day that it was probably going to go to 115 again. Just wanted to show you guys as a reference. Of course, then you have expiration dates. Expiration dates, pretty common sense if you're familiar with options to even the slightest degree. You have the date to expiration. You can sort that if you want. So you can see all basically the time sensitive ones that actually came in today. And obviously it was a very bearish day. And the one that really stood out was the one for Friday for a $1.4 million bid on the 115. And it wasn't even at 115 at that point when they did that. And then you got, of course, other stuff here. As you can see, you got the price in which they entered. You have the amount of contracts. You got the open interest. You got the position size and the price aspect and where they bought it, whether it was on the bid or the ask or the midpoint, and the amount of sweeps that they did in order to try to fill that position. You can do by categories as well. Filters and other things here. You can even see the general sentiment for example, the Russell, which was bearish sentiment, 4.19 rating. You got a 20.4K calls and 42,000 puts, so you got a 13.7 million bearish flow compared to a 2.6 million. So today was kind of more of an obvious day, but they're not always going to be that clear for you for the sweeps, but it's definitely worth learning and watching for those sweeps. You could check out more information on that if you want in the description below, promo code freelancepreneur, and or you could check out the Discord channel as well to get more information on how sweeps work if you're totally unfamiliar. If you're finding this video completely randomly, you can sort by ETFs, you can sort by stocks, you could sort by the amount of volume and value. A lot of these are pretty common sense. You obviously aren't going to be too interested in a position that might be a 50K position because 50,000 could be a smaller term investor, whereas you got someone dropping $1.4 million into a next day expiration, and with the decay and volatility and everything, that could be a very dangerous thing if you really don't know what you're doing, because you can lose all of that very quickly. As you can see here, you could sort by an expiration date and the dates to expiration. You could do correlation between days to expiration, percentage expected move, and rating volume. You got charts here. You got a general overview for the sentiments, but you also got access to a quick drop down from friends at TradingView. If you're familiar with that, you could check out the description below, and I'll link to that as well. And it gives you a pretty good ballpark idea if you're just like popping in and you want to just get a straightforward what's going on with the market kind of thing. So there's a lot of different features, and there's a lot of features coming. It is highly recommended to check out TradeUI. There's going to be if you're familiar with Facebook and other ones, they're doing like darker themes. TradingView already does that. You can do a darker theme rather than a lighter theme. Looks a little bit more professional and legitimate. You can have push notifications that you can see here that come in, and it's pretty straightforward. Lots of tickers you can sort through. You can do ticker comparisons. Other things planned, like the analyze flow here, it's still in development, but that will be coming out soon, possibly by the time that you guys might be watching this video and or before the end of the month. Maybe a little bit longer, but I think he's trying to push it out before the end of this month. Different alerts, as I was saying here, and you can also do alerts only. You can do disabled altogether. You can do browser or mobile notifications through your phone. You can do text notifications, things like that, just so that you could set a specific scanner in a specific way so that it only alerts you when it fits your particular needs for your particular sweep. You can do that for individual strikes, things like that. They're not necessarily going to be all relevant to your particular strategy here. You can also check the history of these different sweeps in the past, as you can see here through April. You got April 16th to 16th, but you could switch back to, let's say you wanted to go to the April 1st to the 16th. And it'll do a little bit of an update there. And as you can see, you could check back previous history of the sweeps, and you can say, well, this had so-and-so sweeps back then. This is a very high conviction sweep, and then it makes your position sizing a little bit more logical, and you can learn the kind of hedges that they're doing and things like that. So using an options sweep scanner is very, very helpful. If you want more information on that, that'll be in the description below for the Discord channel, and you'll have the promo code freelancepreneur for TradeUI.com. Any other questions, just relay them to me, freelancepreneur. I'll show you here. And Lord, the commander of the stocks watch, as you can see here, just a little bit more information on the strength percentage that you can read about in the announcements area if you wanted to check that out. Just some different sweeps here that were recently successful to give you guys an idea of the value of this tool. This is a sweep that came in today for IWM, Russell Index. As you can see here, they had a Friday expiration, the $1.4 million position that I was telling you about at $140 per contract and went up to $170. So they made basically $30 at least per contract, and they had 10,000 contracts, so they made a ton of money off of that sweep, roughly $300,000 in just an hour. So you can see here you have the sweep coming in from earlier in the day. And later in the day, this one was an interesting one because it only had 13 open interests, but they bombarded it with 2,350 contracts. So they were overwhelming that. They really wanted in. They were really expecting this to drop. So you got clear pictures like that. You have basically sweeps results like Amazon here. Amazon's been going up on a tear lately. The only sweep that came in that given day was a bullish sweep, and then of course the next day, aka today, it ran another 60, $70 on top of that. So this was a Friday expiration too. So they were buying this a day ahead of time, projecting over 2,300, way above that before it even ran to it. Even in the after hours, you had that bearish drop yesterday, but then of course it rebounded pretty much all of that. Now the market's getting a little bit more bloody later in the day, but that's totally unrelated to their sweep. CMCSA, you can see here they had two rather large put sweeps. This isn't as conviction, but you can see that when they entered, they made profit almost immediately. You got SPY. SPY had these two sweeps a little while ago. This was on April 14th, so about 2 days ago, I believe, and you can see here that they covered two major put sweeps right at the very bottom there. They were doing it on the ask for 1.7 million, and then of course rebounds the rest of the day. They had some other bull sweeps come in and things like that, making a pretty obvious day for trading. That is about all I wanted to cover with this platform and with Tastyworks. All the links will be in the description below. Thank you for listening in, and if you want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to Stock Abilities, and I'll cover more and more as I go on about the TradeUI platform. So make sure to like this video, comment below what features you may want to see on the TradeUI platform, and I will relay that back to the developer. Thanks for listening in, and once again, check out the description below for all the relevant links.